Hey everyone, I'm your host Graciela Leonardo. You can call me Gracia for short. And welcome back to my podcast. If you've never been here before, this is the podcast where we talk about real life issues. Let's get to it. There's this one simple question, but not really so simple. Who are we? So yeah, today's topic is really complicated. It's really personal. And I made sure everything that I say in this podcast is also backed up by research. There's this other question that's gonna be going what I'm gonna be talking about today, and that question is identity something that we're born with, or is it something that is formed by our environment, like our family, friends, even trauma can count as one. Later in this podcast, there's gonna be a special guest that's coming in to talk to us about how their view is different from mine. But before that, let's get to some background. Okay, if you ask me the definition of identity, I think identity is the mix of everything that makes you who you are. Can be your vibes, your aesthetic. Like, look at my room. I have my own aesthetic. You guys might have like a whole lot of different aesthetic, and that's what make you a person. Can be your culture. Did I say it already? Vibes, aesthetic, culture, your past, what you're going through, what you're still figuring out. That's what makes you who you are. So hear me out, right? Come close, come close. Right. Identity is created, it's not born. It's shaped by the people that we grow up with, the traumas we endure, and the structures that we live within. Okay, so let's break this down even further.
Segment 1. Cause and effect.
Okay, so growing up with a solid family might make it easier for some people to figure out who they are. But also, you have to keep in mind that not all families are perfect. Not all families are together. But when things like trauma or lack of support pops up, it affects your own journey. So here we have Benson and Johnson, and they point out that the way your family supports you when you were a teenager shape how you are as an adult. That's why people always say that it's important to show up for your kids. Even though it's just their school concert, their soccer game, basketball game, whatever they have going on, show up for them. It's really important because it shows or they're gonna feel appreciated that you show up. It shows that you care about them. Yes. Without that steady support, it's easy for people to feel unappreciated, feel lost, and they'll start doubting themselves. For the second example, I have psychologist Bethany Fisher, and she says that the trauma that happens when you're younger, it can mess how you form your own identity. And it's not just about what happened, it's all the emotional feelings that you've kept inside, that you've bottled up, or even like if you've never talked about it. That stuff sticks with you until you're adult, and that can mess up your journey. It's one thing that my mom told me that stuck with me until today, right? So she told me to not hold grudges. She told me to let things go, because if you keep bottling up these feelings, it's gonna backfire on you one day. You're gonna be the one feeling all that, and you're gonna go crazy, basically.
Segment 2. Argument and stance.
Here's my argument, right? Hear me out. So without understanding the factors that shape who we are as a person today, right now, we're not gonna understand how we become this person. We're not gonna understand why I act the way that I act. We're not gonna understand why I'm like this. So we gotta understand the factors that leads to this, right? And of course, everyone has a unique personality, but you were not born with that personality, gang. No. Ooh, can I say that? You did not come out and you know who you are as a person. No. That's what I'm saying right now, that it's shaped by the people that you grew up with the people that surround you right now, your family, friends, trauma, your past, your history, whatever. That shaped who you are as a person. You were not born with it.
Segment 3. Opposing view.
And this is where the special guest comes in.
Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like identity is more of a personal choice and how you decide things yourself. I feel like we're all born with certain qualities and basic knowledge of who we are, and that can grow out over time. For example, if you were born in a tough situation, that doesn't mean you need to be stuck with that story. In this society nowadays, with social media, you can change who you are and show the world different versions of yourself.
Alright, I want to thank Leah for giving us her opposing view, but let me just say this one thing, right? I think that her argument ignores the fact that environment can also affect our development. There's this research by Pang, is based on this mixed family in Scotland, and it says that interactions with family and society plays a huge part of how they come to see themselves. And that's one of my examples on what I just said before on how environment affects our development. There's also Locke's study where he said that he believed that memory and your consciousness were the foundation of your identity, and it is not genetic. And that proves my point again. So if I go back to the question that I asked you guys before on the start or the beginning of this podcast, when I asked you guys, who are we or who are you, right? Would your answer be the same as you first answered it, or would it be different? Okay, let's recap this, right? So identity is not just what's inside of us, it's what's happening around us. All right, to anyone who made it this far, I want to say thank you. And also, I need you guys to do one thing for me, right? Let's reflect on what you guys learned today and think about what shaped your identity. And if you know someone who is struggling to figure out who they are, don't do too much on them. Give them some time, talk to them, let them talk to you. Anyways, that's all for today's episode. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I'm out.